initially, we're planning on having Ron Villanueva, who some of you may remember from the Catapult, when he has that business that he gave us an overview, but now he has a new business he recently started. We didn't get it into our system quick enough to kind of announce it here, so what we're going to do is certainly give him an opportunity to present his business, Q&A as always, and then a lot of times we'll let the Q&A go really, really long, but we'll just condense it to about 15 or 20 minutes afterwards, and then the rest of the time we certainly can go into the advertised program of the Mastermind Roundtable. So, any announcements at this time?
Unwinds tonight, right? Somewhere?
No, it's next week.
No, it's tonight.
Is it?
It's the 17th.
Yes, it's tonight.
Oh, okay.
Chesapeake?
It's in Chesapeake, then, yeah. Just take a look at
Yeah,
it.
somewhere.
Where?
I think it's a Passion.
Fashion?
Yeah, it's a place out in Chesapeake.
Oh, Fashion. I thought it was some other kind of strange name.
Starwheel.com.
Yeah.
.org.
.org.
If only there was a device, that's
Yes.
right.
Well, it's pretty helpful.
That would fit the phone.
Any other announcements?
I have an announcement. Homarama is this week. It starts this week, and actually one of our presenters, EcoDog, is showcasing on that, and they were on the news and all that. So Hampton Roads news channels, wavy.com and all that. So it's for 3 weekends: Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They are showcasing a couple of houses in Suffolk. So.
Any other announcements? We do have, shouldn't know the exact date, but I think it's next week. We're having our department is having a workshop over at the new Ziders Theater. And it's going to be geared towards the creative industries, music, film, performing arts. So if you want to find out more on that, you can go to our website, yesvirginiabeach.com. I'm sure it's got all the details. I want to say it's the 23rd, but don't quote me on that. But the speakers are going to be excellent speakers on that day. As you know, with the vibe in the Neon District, downtown Norfolk, and all the creative industries are really starting to grow with Pharrell Williams coming in town and trying to get the state to put up more money to support performing arts throughout the Commonwealth. This would be a good opportunity to see and meet some of the leaders in the whole creative industries sector. So, yesvirginiabeach.com should have all the info there. With that being said, I'd like to introduce my good friend, Ron Villanueva. Many of you have known him throughout several years and certainly serving our community and our state that we certainly appreciated for years. And now a entrepreneur that has several ventures going on, but one of them I was fortunate to not only see but taste recently down at the Phil Fest, the Filipino Fest that was down at the oceanfront week before last one.
Yeah.
And that was his launch for this new beverage, and I'm going to let him tell you all about it and plans to go nationwide maybe one day.
Yeah.
Take it away,
Thank you,
Ron.
thank you. So, good morning, everyone. It's good to see a lot of you again. Got some good friends in here. When I last briefed you all, we had Catapult. Just want to let you know a brief update on that. Catapult was a collaborative effort regionally amongst entrepreneurs and city governments and universities. We had an event in June. It was successful. We had nearly, I think, 1,700 people come. We had over 150 companies there. And it was a good start to serve as a catalyst for moving a united front for our technology pursuits that are non-defense related. Although the Navy was there and they were successful in launching their initiatives through the Office of Naval Research, they had a successful contest during that Catapult conference. They've issued over, I believe, $1 million worth of small contract awards to startup and emerging businesses. So that's a success story. We are planning for a mini event sometime in January, and then another event here in Hampton Roads in June to continue the Catapult efforts, and look forward to partnering with you guys. Since then, I've been busy. I've been out of office for a while. I've done a lot of community pursuits. I see Julian over there. I'm the co-chair of the Filipino Community Chamber of Commerce, and working with our Hispanic brothers and sisters to help promote our businesses, to help assimilate more here in the community and network with you guys more. And then along the way, as you know, when you're out of office, you seem to know people seem to know everybody, or people tend to still remember you. So it's interesting. This past year, the actual presentation today was supposed to be on Granby Station. It was a food hall that's going to be unheard of and eclectic, and brings new varieties of food. We're working actually with Chef Adler and his students to see if there was a pipeline there, but these guys weren't ready today. But this is called Uncle's Brew Golden Ale. It's Virginia's first Filipino-inspired craft beer. What's that mean? Well, just like you guys, Filipinos like to drink and eat, right? So I know you've been in the Philippines. Who's served in the military and been to? All right, so you guys know what's up, right? So in the Filipino community here, when you go to our parties and you eat our food, there's always some good beverage as well. And the traditional beers in the Philippines are San Miguel and Red Horse. And they're okay. They're okay, but it's beer, that beer's not for everyone. So here in Virginia, I'm one of the co-authors of the 2012 craft brew bill when I was in the General Assembly. And as you know, since 2012, we have over nearly 180 craft breweries here in Virginia, and we're growing every day. What we decided to do was, people approached me and going, "Hey, Ron, there's a niche market for different types of beers. When you go to the supermarket or you go to these craft beer places, there's all kinds of choices, and what they want is new niche markets to help bring into their fold and to help market to." So we decided to collaborate with Back Bay Brewing Company. You guys know that place. It's one of Virginia Beach's first craft breweries. The family is good friends of mine. We decided to collaborate together. They have a location on Norfolk Avenue, and they have a brand new farmhouse. If you guys haven't been there, it's a wonderful facility. It's the old William E. Wood corporate headquarters. It's about a nearly 100-year-old house. It's on a 10-acre farm over in Kempsville. Come visit it. So we formed this company with these guys to help do some niche beer marketing, right? So we did some market research. We're playing on our history. We're playing on the men in our family. A lot of them worked the fields, worked hard for their families to come back, and at the end of the day, there was a good home cooked meal and there was beer, right? So what we did was we looked at what San Miguel and Red Horse were, and then we put the Virginia twist on top. Have a secret recipe, have this special golden ale brew. It's a light tasting brew, smooth finish, good tasting. That's what we're in. It's 5-point APV alcohol, just like Budweiser. And we successfully launched it at the Filipino Fest last week, where over 4,000 people were. Just to show the concept, and it turned out great. And both Filipinos and non-Filipinos alike liked it. We have it now at special release over at Back Bay Brewery. And if you guys join me tomorrow or anytime this weekend, so come see me, first round's on me, you know, taste it, see what you think. So here's some factoids, you know, I just mentioned, since 2012, we have a craft industry boom, over 130 craft brewer industries. Virginia is heavily marketing these craft breweries as part of their tourism hospitality track. Here in Virginia Beach, you know, tourism is king, right? Or one of the main drivers, so that's part of their efforts. When you go to Norfolk, Norfolk uses it as its angle to attract millennial type companies. You got O'Connor Brewery, you got all kinds of breweries over there. Yeah, there's a lot of room for growth. We are ranked 18th in the nation and 36 per capita, so there's a lot of growth for these type of beers. Just to give you a brewery 101, just to show you what the different types were. You know, we've got microbreweries, that's what you see predominantly here in this area. New Realm is a new microbrewery, Smart Mouth, so forth. You got brew pubs like Warriors Brew Pub over in Virginia Beach, that's an example. And you got contract brewing companies like St. George on the peninsula. And that's how Back Bay started. They started as a contract brewer. They had somebody produce their beers for them, bottle it, and then once they got bigger, they started doing it on their own, and now they have capacity to do such. So here's our successful pathway, we think. You know, do the proof of concept, we launched it, we've got a beer release at both our partner locations. We need to solidify, we know we need to solidify our market, which means we've already been around a lot of the Filipino, Asian restaurants, you know, it's the gauge interest, the interest there. We've been in discussions with the main distributor companies here, see if those would fly, and all systems seem like they're ready to go. We got a second beer launch if this is successful in early 2019. So if you got any recipes or any suggestions, come see me. We're partnering with other hospitality growth areas. What's that mean? Well, you know, there's some interest with regards to, for instance, Busch Gardens or a cruise liner or places where they're predominantly good diversity and good food and good drink. We are developing collaborative community projects to capture grassroots. We've got this project where in the Filipino community, if you got a story about your father, dad, brother, grandfather, you know, send us their picture and their story, and we're trying to assemble, you know, some kind of community project to help raise money for World War II Filipino veterans that have not received benefits. We're trying to do a book project for them. Eventually, if this is successful, we could have our own brewery or brew pub, and then you've got retail products that, of course, you know, people like swag, people like, you know, bottles, growlers, and such. And you know, this industry, guys, it's low margin, high volume, but it's a fun project. It's got some legs on it, and we've got some good partners in this. Some potential barriers, obviously, if you don't like it, you know, people won't buy it. So it's our job to make sure this beer appeals to a lot of folks. We know it's been at Back Bay Brewery for the past week, and it's like the #1 beer seller over there. And we haven't really pushed it. And we've got competition from other microbrewers, although this Uncle's Brew is the first Filipino one to date. Production, obviously, these microbreweries have a lot of production capabilities, but if you're going to go larger scale, you're going to have to go to some of the larger brewers to help. You got scalability. Some of the other factors. There's a big push from the restaurant industries, you know, to balance the force. You know, here in Virginia, there's a restaurant food ratio for restaurants. They'll tell you that if you're a restaurateur. That's been a source of contention with them versus these breweries where All you need to do is set up the tasting room and sell alcohol. You don't really need the food ratio, and that's been discussed back and forth. But this is us. I mean, we've got a successful launch. We've got good friends backing it. We've got some good interest in it. So we're going to see where this goes. That's it. Yes, Ray.
Is it just available via draft now, or can you buy it bottles and cans also?
So if you come, and I put this November 17th at the Farmhouse, that's our official release over at the Farmhouse Brewery. It will be on the bottles.
Oh, okay.
Right now, it's just give me pour me a cup, and let's go. It's on keg. It's in keg format right now.
And your strategy to get it in local bars and all, tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, we, part of my background is when I ran for city council, I was the bar liaison. So I knew a lot of these folks. They're a lot of my good friends. There's relationships there that you could play on, but obviously you need to work with the distributor. And fortunately for us, we've got good relations with them. So we've talked to both Filipino, Asian, and non-Filipino bar restaurant owners, and there seems to be some good demand. So we just got to make sure we're ready once we do it. Yes, sir.
Are you the only Filipino-inspired beer in the state or in the nation?
Right now, our research indicates in the state we are. In the nation, it's debatable. There's one in California, but no one's marketing it.
And are there, I presume there's pockets of Filipino communities all over this, I mean, you started to map those out?
That's a good question, brother. So you serve the Navy, so you know.
Around the neighborhood?
Yeah. So had this discussion with Admiral Bianchi over at NextCom. He was indicating, hey Ron, this might be a good product for the packaging stores. So obviously Filipinos in Navy, Filipinos in military, there's strong presence. That's how a lot of our first generation folks got here. So now you got generations. People grew up in those communities, San Diego, Jacksonville, Norfolk, go forth. So that'd be definitely a niche. That's where our market concentration should be, to help prove this concept a little bit. That's right.
Ron, you ever been down to Pensacola Air Station
Yes, I have.
and the Air Museum? They sell San Miguel in there.
Here's a fact: San Miguel is a Filipino beer, but it's
Yeah.
in Chinese.
It is? Okay. Well, the thought would be, up here on Shore Drive, right, the Naval Academy Alumni Association, puts flyers out every time to watch Navy football. A lot of the guys go up there. Those of us who were veterans of Olongapo, that was a long time ago, right? But there may be some interest up
We'd love to
there.
host you guys. If you guys want to come visit with us at Back Bay Farmhouse,
Yeah.
we'll take care of you guys and let us
Same
know.
thing with the golf courses around here.
Absolutely. VB National is run by some very good friends of ours, and
Oh, cool.
we talk to those guys. Yes, sir.
I think this is a great idea. I think diversification in craft beer is really important as the industry continues to grow. But once you grow this as a company and you're in bars and you're all over the place, how are you going to market it as a Filipino product as opposed to just another beer on a tap list?
Well, that's where we came out with this logo here. So the guys on the logos are some of the founders' dads. The guy to the right, the third guy is my father. A lot of these guys on this picture had strong networks. The ambassador of the Philippines drank this, gave thumbs up. So to answer your question, you just got to stay within your niche and your boundaries. For instance, like friend Julian's here, there's tremendous Hispanic beers, right? But there could be a Puerto Rican beer. Sir, you're from China, right? Or from Virginia? So Chinese beers are pretty good, but you got to market it, and you know this. Once you market in your community, they start inviting all their non-Filipino friends, and they come over, and then it starts assimilating and saturating. So that's where we're. And then my good friend in the front asked about the Filipino communities. So, you know, we haven't seen anybody try this. Right? Yeah. Yes, sir.
Are you looking at any other, working with any other breweries, like Young Veterans would be, I mean, is that, or are you exclusively with Back Bay right
No,
now?
I mean, this is a beer collab. Obviously, you go with, you know, you go with your friends first, but Young Veterans, they got some great beers. You know, love them, support them. You know, they got some good niches. You know, believe it or not, O'Connor Brewery, give you a true story here. You know, Kevin O'Connor told me once that, or his people told me, that El Guapo was a Filipino-inspired beer one time. But
Wow.
obviously, because we're so close to the Hispanic community, they got, got co-op, and then once you put a Bandito on there, it changes the whole
Yeah.
marketing scheme. But El Guapo is one of the top sellers in Virginia.
That means handsome or something, right, in Tagalog, or,
Say again?
does that mean handsome in Tagalog?
In both Spanish and
Okay.
Tagalog, but, you know, if you put a Bandito
Yeah.
as the marketing guy on El Guapo, you know,
Sundays the Three Amigos.
yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly.
Have you, what about, and you're right, when you're in the Philippines, you got San Miguel and Red Horse. I don't know how the craft beer scene is over there, if that's growing, or would that be something?
Yeah,
Just
we,
look at marketing
talked,
over there.
there's not really a lot. We talked to the ambassador and his tourism folks, and they said they weren't. I mean, so, you know, you gotta start with baby steps, local, state, national, global, you know. The end goal might be to maintain this, or, you know, one of the big breweries might buy you out. That's what, you know, they did for Devil's Backbone and Vienna Lager and so forth. So that's where we're at. Yes, sir.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yes, sir.
Spend $12 and buy your domain name, it's still available. I could get it right now, but
Oh, really?
you probably should.
What?
Uncle's Brew.
We,
That's available.
It's available.
Damn.
Good point.
that's a good point.
Even if you don't have a website set up, grab the domain name so nobody else does.
All right. Thanks, boss. Appreciate it. I'll go get my marketing guys. This was just we didn't think this was gonna happen, to tell you the truth. You know, just, it was a casual conversation amongst two friends, and then we brought some other friends in, and then in honor of Phil Am History Month, we said, you know, let's try to do something different. And then, you know, the ideas are popping, the response has been good. So organically, this is growing the right way. Yes, sir.
Not really a question, but a piece of information you might find interesting. There's a brewery in Miami called Desert Sur. They're owned by Budweiser, and they're a Hispanic themed brewery that Budweiser owns. They're looking to push out there as, you know, for that ethnicity.
I'm gonna have to get that note later. Absolutely. This is why I love this group, man. I mean, you guys got good ideas. I appreciate it. So come by, come by, you know, taste it. Tell me what you think. You know, be honest.
You're gonna be at Back
I'll be at Back Bay tonight.
Or the barn?
That November 17th, that beer will be officially there at Farmhouse, but right now it's at Back Bay, Brewery on Norfolk Avenue. I'll be there this afternoon and on Thursday. Let me know, and I would love to toast cheers to you.
All right.
Thank you.